Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Bushwhacking Tartaria with Berserker Bear. I got some boots on the ground for you today. Jubilee place here in Buffalo called the Gothic City Collector's Cove. Okay, I wasn't going to even do a boots on the ground today. Actually, I was going to get you, if you in my community here at YouTube, my YouTube channel, I posted up that I was going to do a Bushwhacking Tartaria review of an old family book here that I have. Literary Digest book of modern marvels from my grandmother, Frances Roth. I was going to do that, just picture edition, and I'm going to tell you how that changed and what I did. I was watching Autodidactic 2 this morning, and in the course of watching this video, he had said something that inspired me to do my boots on the ground, and I'm going to cycle back to show you how I do my research after listening to this, and how I get out and do my boots on the ground. Come back, and I didn't even research this place yet, and I'll show you how I do it. Try to get it within a half an hour, because I am honestly recording this from my phone, okay, and the Droid only records for half an hour. I do no editing. I just hit record. I lean my thing up and get it squared in as best possible. So you don't have to feel intimidated if you don't have much equipment, okay? I do it with my phone and point it at my computer and square it up as best possible. And I think sometimes you can see that, but it's not the quality, I don't think, so much as the content. So, and with that, I'm going to show you what I do as far as getting my boots on the ground, because we want you to help in your city. You know, you might have stuff in your city that we're looking for. And for example, I just got a message from somebody on here interested in throwing some pictures up, and that's all we need you to do is just take some pictures, or you can research yourself. But if you're interested in this kind of research, we more than want to have you here. We'd like you to contribute, and that's effectively the whole idea. Somebody had said that they're interested in getting content here. All you got to do is take pictures on your phone and load them up. Effectively what I'm doing. So that's what we like to do. Now, I was going to, again, cycle back to my ambition for today was to do this video and show pictures of my great grandmother's book that she has, Literary Digest, and how it's very synchronistic in what we're doing with the research here. And I started watching Campbell's video from Autodidactic 2 again, and let's get right into it. And I heard him say this word.
Through and have a look at some of these pictures. So this is Adelaide, and this is Jubilee Hall.
Jubilee Hall. Now, immediately I make the association with this place, the Gothic City Cove Collectors. I know you can't see that on the right, but again, it's best I can get you squared in and keep pretty good quality. But you can see where I am. I'm in Buffalo. This is Unity Island. Used to be Squaw Island. Now it's Unity Island. And this is where I went. I heard Campbell say that, and I'm like, I was going to do this place eventually, but you know how things work out and how you get cues sometimes from the screen. I heard him say that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go here today, and we're gonna do this spot here. And effectively, all I did for if this can be a tutorial for contributors on MeWe, or even if you want to do this yourself, if you find that you have this kind of architecture here in your city, this is what you can do. Again, guys, I had my phone standing upright on a paperweight. So here we go. This is Bushwhacking Tartaria with Berserker Bear, Gothic City Collector's Cove. That's where I'm at. So this is actually my picture that I took, and you can see right off the bat It's called the this one is actually called the Unity Temple, and it's Gothic. It's what it is you know, let's go back to the earth real quick. So they sell antiques, Gothic City antiques. This is a big buffalo. Oh, you know what? There is a buffalo right now on this pedestal. There's a big buffalo on it when I was down there earlier. Maybe I got a picture of that. So yeah, this is the actual area, Niagara Street. I'm sorry. Now, yeah, this is what I want to show you. This whole little stretch right here. Not only does it have the architecture that we're looking for, and the you know, the Greek and the columns, and it's got the red brick and the build out. I get you up close on that. This is the section of Niagara where, like I said, it's got the railway. Maybe I didn't say that. This is I want to show you that this is near the railway. You know what? I could do that right now. In my previous video, I was near this place for my bushwhacking Tartaria on the railway underneath the Peace Bridge when I came over here and did the International Railway. And I was up on the tracks. And I want to get you to see where I was for that. Disoriented right now. Oh yes, okay, this is where I was for a couple videos ago. Look at that Tartari right there. Where's my, okay, this is the video that I was going to do in my community. Now we're doing bushwhacking Tartaria, Gothic City videos. I did that one. This one right here. Bushwhacking Tartaria number 7. That's where I got on the track. So let's get back to what I was doing. So it's all on the same area. This is Niagara Street right here. Obviously the Peace Bridge, but this whole area not only has, again, that's what I was saying, not only has the mud flooded the buildings and the Gothic, or excuse me, the architecture, but it has the hill. And this is the building I was at. I went to this building. And I also showed you, and I got up on this little place right here. Well, yeah, that I just wanted to explain the fact that this whole area has mud flood-esque building architecture, railroad, and actually mud flooded buildings. So let's get back to Gothic City. Oh, you can just go back to the photographs. Here we go. That's where we are. And you could look this up on Google as well. Let's just get through my pictures here. That's where I am. And you can see the build out up here. That catches my eye. The arches, the old red brick, the columns. Right on Niagara Street, and actually back here, if you can see my cursor back here, that's the highway. Highway. For a reason. It named the highway for a reason, in my opinion. And yeah, it's got obviously it's got the old-esque style architecture of, you know, Parthenon columns, raised first level entrance, kind of a smaller compact building too. It's very, very cool looking. I'd like to get in there. Today's a Sunday, obviously. I believe you can go in there because that's effectively like a smaller flea market type of deal, bartering place. Jubilee Center. And look at how that's why sometimes when I say curse words actually in my social media, instead of using U, I use V. Because that's, I think, how it was used back in the day. I'm not even going to venture to guess what language. I'd say possibly Latin, where U's were V's. Oh, let's get that. Sorry about that. Yeah, U's were used as V's, and this is the Jubilee Center. And I've passed this, and again, you got you have the columns and the old red brick Yeah, I got a picture, a close-up picture of that plaque. There's another plaque around here also. Yeah, look at the entrance too. This is pretty cool. This is all concrete, it looks like though, but the round entrance, or the rotunda-esque entrance, and the red brick you have, of course, the build-out. Now there's a difference here, and I'm going to show a little transition here in the top, and I'd like for some people to help me out with that as far as research goes, because some of the tops of these old red brick buildings have the nice build-out and are finished off, and some have another feature that I've noticed that's different, and I think that has to do with the rebranding and the refacading and the usurping and changing, like Campbell actually said in his video this morning, changing of the original, red brick to something different. But what I'm talking about is I'm going to explain something, how the top of these look different. There's a characteristic that I think is indicative of the changeover and the refacading of it, and it would seem to me that there would have to be industry to support that. So here we go. Jubilee Springs, 1827 to 1898. This is good for your research. So the Jubilee Spring began supplying water to the village of Black Rock. Oh, that actually could be good for the waterworks that's underneath the Peace Bridge there. That could be a good keyword to search for that structure underneath the Peace Bridge, anybody, that I had in my last video, or the other video that I just cited, number 7, I believe it was. I was looking for keywords to try to find research on that structure, again, underneath the Peace Bridge, the old waterwork intake. Maybe this is a good key to that. I didn't even put that together earlier. So yeah, the Jubilee Springs began supplying water to the village of Black Rock in 1827. Wooden water mains fed pumps at various locations throughout the village. Today, the spring supplies water to a small pond in Forest Lawn Cemetery. What? I definitely didn't read that, but Forest Lawn Cemetery is... Let's look at that real quick. All right, so we're like right around here. Area of the world, okay. Forest Lawn Cemetery. Okay, yeah, well there it goes. It's like it's saying Skajakwita Creek. Okay. An old waterway that they completely terraformed. I thought it was referring to like tunnels underground, and of course that strikes my attention for sure. So yeah, then it says Black Rock Heritage Trail, 2011. So actually this plaque was put up in 2011. That actually looks like Albright Knox or even Washington. But yep, this plaque is right out front of that place. And here you go with the build out. There's a feature that we're going to go over later in the show that I explain the difference between the finished off build out, and I think they have a cap on it. And what that cap would seem to indicate to me is industry. There has to have been an industry to supply those things, and we'll get into that. Yeah, but this looks like obviously newer poured concrete. There's obviously transition here, but this looks newer. There we go. Erected for the Jubilee Water. Oh, that's it. The Jubilee Water. Okay. Jubilee Water Commissioners. Muddy May, you hear that? Jubilee Water Commissioners of the Parish Tract by the Bureau of Building Department Public Works. Frank X. Argus. David H. Justin. Henry Gunther. Grabblers. Excuse me. Probably bankers. I don't know. Who knows? Historians. There you go. Okay, there goes the transition. You can see it back here. I think I have a better picture, but I got to... Well, 14. We got some good time here. Yeah, but look at the... you got the similar crest and the... it looks like the sun crest splash in the brick. They mirror that with the facade too. They do a similar, sun crest in the facade when they go over these things with brick. And that's another question too. Why do they leave some? Why are some left, and why are some facaded over? A good example would be what I just did, the tower, my last video about the tower, and how I was looking right in through the facade into the old brick. And here you go, similar to the facade cracking and falling off. Look at that. But I just wanted to show the build out here and how nice that looks. I liken it to, it's more ornate and it's more pretty. And I liken it to crown molding on a house. And you see it on a lot of old houses when you're finishing off a room. And if you want to be more ornate, you put crown molding on it. And here you go. Look at the old world style house here with the foundation, different foundation. That's actually similar to the foundation than in my Niagara River. That's interesting. That might be a link right there. It's similar to the brickwork that I've seen on the buildings that are right along the river. Again, in my Niagara River video. And I was just walking down the street snapping pictures, and I've passed. Oh, there you go. I've passed this building. Here you go. Here's another feature of Tartarian-esque structures or architecture. This is a winter climate. We get very harsh winter and we get snow melt. Everybody gets rain, but we get snow melt here, and we get drifts of snow that go up to this window. Literally, I'm dead serious. This is probably 2 or 3 feet off the ground. I show you in my video. I take a video too to show you the true boots on the ground. But yeah, you know, architecturally, I'd like for any architect to explain why they would build ground level windows that have holes in them, or that have little not holes, but like little dips, little ditches in the front of them. They're all over this city, and they're all over and indicative of what we say are old world Tartarian buildings. And boy, do I have them all over Buffalo, and I'd be remiss if I didn't get them to you. Stuff like this. There you go. Very pretty, very beautiful arches, you know, of course, a transition of foundation. And I understand that they say that that's foundation and that's the sub-level. I understand sub-level. I am not an architect. I just said I'm not an architect, but I do know general terms, and I do my research in a lot of fields because this rabbit hole calls for it. I think it's the most fundamental rabbit hole that there is. This Tartarian mudflood reset research, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. I'll put it out there. But yeah, you see the transition, and I guess people will say, the skeptics would say, and rightfully so, of course, rightfully so, that this there was actually, you know what, a commenter recently on one of my videos said, "Oh, that's all just sub-level," and I said, "Thank you for that insight." But I beg to differ, because there's a lot of other features too, a lot of other distinguishing characteristics that you know, obviously, you know, we're willing to change our mind too. We're not just, you know, steadfast in our here. We're researching, and if we're presented with new information, of course we're willing, and we reserve the right to respectfully, professionally change our mind, and that's what a good researcher should do. If presented with new information, of course we're willing to change our mind and update our assessments and everything, and all like that. Yeah, this is, you know, you're right underneath it here, and it's so cool. You look up and see build out like this. I'd say this is original to the building, in my opinion. Very ornate, and then you begin to see how it is, because that actually is kind of a closed off right angle right there, like you would see in a house. So you can actually get a good, it's analogous to inside crown molding, I guess you'd say. It's just more ornate. It looks better. It looks more, I said pretty earlier, but you could say ornate. Looks more professional, instead of, like, you know, just clinical and boring. Look at that. Look at this. There's an interesting feature down here too. Different types of red brick. Does that indicate different construction, different time periods of construction? Yes, of course, possibly. But again, we're not making any definitive conclusions here. We're certainly not making any charges. So we're just presenting and generalizing with our assessments here. Of course, we're definitely speculating and trying to assess this with the mud flood eye and the mud flood lens and aperture, but we're certainly not making any charges. We are in the process of researching, always in the process of researching. All you could do is just, it's effectively a process of elimination. True science, with the lowercase s. And you got to build out, you know, the arches. Arches are indicative of the Moorish arch, I guess you'd say. It's not a vaulted arch. Maybe that's kind of more vaulted, more pointed. Vaulted arches are pointed, more pointed. I believe the Moorish arch is more rounded. Again, I'm flying off the top of my head here. I don't have any research. There's no outline, so please forgive me if I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments. Go hard, you know, within reason. Okay, so let's keep going. I got a video here coming up. Okay, so check this out. Look at that. See how that's all cut? See that? Old doorway. Yeah, I got right up on it. Good example of repurposing these old buildings. Clearly this was maybe even a window, because if we say mud flood and this has got lower levels to it, like an iceberg. Okay. Like this. Okay. Underneath, substructure underneath. Then this may have been a window, and now it's repurposed for a door. Another feature for your own research to know. That's just a cool picture. Oh, I wanted to say that, look, there's patching done here, so there's different bricks. And it's not really ornate up here. There's a top put up there, a capping on that, and the capping is what I'm interested in, what I wanted to cycle back to. Look at all that. So yeah, you can see that there's different patching, and you know, this looks original, this up here, but why is all this different? Was that replace it with newer red brick? Because this doesn't look like red, this looks like a little bit different. So there's clearly different styles of brick. In my last video about the tower, those were more white brick, and see a commenter, thank you very much, I forget the names, but had advised that those yellow or white bricks are more recent, and they're done for like schools and everything. So that's good information to know. Here you go. This is where you begin to see that this is either, you know, in my opinion, I wouldn't say that this is indicative of mud flood. I think this is more indicative of terraforming, because you have the highway right there and the railway as well. So purposely, I think that they did this and kept this there. But again, the discernment's really hard there. But this is again a good example. You see an old foundation also, and this is a picture of like right here. Precarious little ledge there, isn't it? Who'd want to go out there and smoke a cigarette? Not me. But here we go. Look at the build out up here. Looks like there was an old stairwell. Very pretty, beautiful building. I love the color of it too. There you go. So I would say definitely these buildings go more underneath here. But again, I think that's due to the terraforming in and around the highway and the railway that's over here that I was on before. Another plaque here, Buffalo Niagara Falls Railroad, I was just referring to. Present-day Niagara Street was the original route of the first steam railroad. There you go. Western New York service from Black Rock to Niagara Falls began on August 26, 1836. Wow. The New York Central Railroad acquired the line in 1869. Black Rock Heritage Trail, 2011. Very interesting. Love history. Here we go. Here's the video. See? If nothing else but to show you that I was definitely there. Anybody could take pictures, I guess, right? "93 million miles." Eh? That's where I just was showing you back there. There go those crests. Now let's see. Okay. That thing right there. There you go. That's I'll wrap it up with that, and maybe give somebody anybody who's interested in some assignments. Hi, sweetheart. I think that those were caps put on when they but didn't make it ornate and they made them into industry. I think they put those things over them as a uniform seal to, number one, to keep it sealed in, and to hide stuff like this, to hide the ornate. And they made it all flat. And I think that I think I have a picture of it, and I'll explain what I'm getting at with that. And that could be a good wrap up, because we're coming down to the wire here. I'll show you how I do as far as research, or what I do. I would just look this up, type in the keywords that we see on the buildings, and that's how I do my research. And I would post it on MeWe. Look at first level entrance. I wonder what's in there. Oh yeah, there it goes. See, you can see it. The buffalo. You see the buffalo back there? Oh, there you go. Buffalo. I'm not familiar with that crest or at all what it looks like. It does obviously look like a sun, but it also kind of looks maybe a little bit like a splash. Admiralty Law / the sun crest type deal ish thingamajig. Who knows? But I help out with the research. This is the Jubilee Center here in Buffalo, and the Unity Temple. First ground level windows. Again, yeah, this is here's what I wanted to show you. Boots on the ground. Now, literally snowdrift. It would snow for one day here, and you'd have snow up to that window for sure. So any architects who are interested in this, that are watching this, I'd love to hear that. Why these buildings are like that in this area where there's snow melt. Heavy snow melt too, like wet snow, lake effect snow. It has a lot of moisture in it from the lake, because we're right off the river here, right off the lake. Look at that, it's right out. So a whole row of windows, old world windows with new. There's transition here, and then columns. Though that, you know what, that may look like it's added after the fact, and that's all kind of a fake facade to begin with. Look at, see, it's wood almost. Oh boy. Yeah, because this, that's obviously wood. Still, it does look like an old world building, and it could have retrofitted it with this to make it look even more old world. That's completely okay. It's still a mud flooded esque building, and has features of it. And of course, you have the Assyrian something or other right here, Egyptian, Assyrian, of course, right? Okay, so that was boots on the ground. Now, what I want to show is, in that what I would do is I would just come here and start researching and putting in keywords, Jubilee, Buffalo, and try to find any architect or any kind of a cursory search doesn't really even really come up. This isn't necessarily going to be what I find on that research. It effectively was a tutorial to get more people in and on board here at MeWe to help us research Tartaria. That's what I do, guys. I pretty much just go out there, find a location, and go out there, take pictures. I just went and took pictures of that place, a video, in keeping with, bushwhacking Tartaria, to get you the boots on the ground. And I ask you guys to come and comment and propose questions, kind of in the format of what Michelle Gibson does at her channel, where she gets ideas from commenters and everything. You guys can even suggest places where I can go in Buffalo. I mean, literally, there's a lot of places. There's a place right near here that's, there you go, right there. I mean, I can do a whole video on this place. I don't even know what that place is called, but I'm sure it has an anomaly, and I'm sure the history doesn't match up. Look at that. They're all over Buffalo, all over. There goes another one. Okay, and I'm sure so this is the thing. You guys can have this out your front door. And if you're ambitious and you like this kind of research, this is effectively a tutorial research channel as well, where I can show you what I do very simply. It's a very crude setup on my phone, but then I load it up here, and I load it up on the research site with MeWe, on MeWe, that Campbell set up, and it's very easy to. You don't even have to do videos. You can just put pictures up there. You can comment on them. Like you can put an audio clip up and comment on one. And again, I also like to advise you that Campbell of Autodidactic and I have a new series coming out, the History Channel. It'll be premiering on his channel, Autodidactic 2, I believe. We will be posting it up and information, and when it drops, I'll definitely let you know. So keep in touch there, or keep your ear on the ground there. More to come, and it's just going to be anything general Tartaria, definitions, questions, interactive research, where we can get you guys in touch with it over here again at MeWe. Let us know what you think, and come and sign up here. We'd love to have you, and we need the research because, again, you guys can do this. You guys might have this architecture out your front door, okay? And we need your help. We like your help, and we commend it. It's invaluable for the research. So, and there was another quick bushwhacking Tartaria edition for you at the Gothic place here in Buffalo, amongst many other. And I hope you like it. I will report back soon with a whole bunch more. Take care. Bye.